Hello, thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing? A lot of wild elections going on right now. First the UK, now France. The French one, I guess, is even more crazy. Something happened. Something apparently happened. A huge upset. You know, it looked like the right was going to win. There's two different elections. The right was going to win, and now when they did the final election, the second one, the left won or something. I don't know. I want to understand more because it's apparently a huge deal and a big upset. Luckily, I've got the small and up-and-coming news channel CBC News. Check them out. Link down below. French voters back leftists. Reject far right. I mean, all these videos, or a lot of them, have like horrible like to dislike ratios. I will say. I don't know what that means. Hopefully these videos are accurate. I don't know. I think it's just a very contentious topic. Let's see.
It was here, to the battle-scarred emblem of the French Republic, that those celebrating flocked after the exit polls were announced. The statue of Marianne and the entire square soon enveloped by cheering crowds.
Oh, this is a happy crowd. They kind of looked mad at first.
Street vendors, quick to see an opportunity when it arrives. There was also relief for those.
That street food looked really good. I'm not going to lie. I want some of that right there. All of it.
For those on the French left when it arrives. There was also relief for those on the French left.
We've just been so stressed, and it's just so exciting. I'm in shock in a positive way, but this is such an unexpected result.
And it's created.
It's amazing how often these shocking results come out of elections. It happens so often. It's almost like every election is a shock result, you know?
Expectations in this crowd that Emmanuel Macron will now have to look to the left for France's next prime minister. There is little.
Isn't he he's like center left, right? So is this a win or a loss for Macron? That's one thing I don't get at all. I've seen news headlines saying exact opposite things. Because apparently, he called for the snap election. That's pretty cool. I didn't know he could just do that. Some kind of tactic. It was a gamble, basically. And it seems like it almost went really bad for him. But now it's just kind of bad.
Sympathy for the French president, minister. There is little sympathy for the French president or his decision to call a snap election in the first place.
Okay.
He chose to do that, so he played a bad game.
So apparently this was just bad for him.
The people here have staved off what they see as the immediate threat to their country. But this isn't all of France, and what comes next is still unclear.
Leftist and centrist parties were able to reverse last week's first-round win for Marine Le Pen's far-right national rally by forging strategic alliances, knocking her.
She's the right-wing lady. Right? I'm not trying to explain that to you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure that I understand that.
Right national rally by forging strategic alliances, knocking her party into third place. Macron's centrist bloc came second. Not enough for his gamble to have paid off.
Okay.
The remaining years of his presidency about to become a lot more difficult with an even more antagonistic parliament.
Gotcha. And so now he has to pick a prime minister, and it has to be from the party with the plurality of members? Is that right? It's kind of a complicated system. I mean, at least compared to over here in America. All these European countries have all these different parties, which is really cool, and I'm very jealous of that right now, in particular in this upcoming election, presidential election. But because I feel like I only have two shitty options of the same side of the coin, kind of thing. But all these different parties do make it a little bit confusing, and there's coalitions, and from what I gather, the right wing was going to win, and then all these left wing groups got together and they were like, no, we're not letting that happen. And somehow they came together and won.
La percée la plus importante de toute son histoire.
National Rally's president, Jordan Bardella, called the result the most important breakthrough in the party's history. National Rally is a modern version of the National Front, founded by Le Pen's father, a Holocaust denier. She's worked to clean up its
It's a bad look.
image as a xenophobic party and set her sights on the 2027 presidential election.
Okay. 2027, Macron. He's been in office for a long time now, huh? They hold office for, what, he's on his second term. It'll be 10 years. That's crazy. That's such a long time. I guess it's not that much longer than like an American president. 8 years. 4 to 8 years. But 10 years just feels like a really long time. That'll be pretty exciting when there's a new election. So it'll be between Le Pen and some new candidate.
A sobering possibility for those in the square who say the far right has come too close to power.
And I'm not celebrating because I know what it would mean if it did pass today, so I can't really feel happy.
Interesting. It does kind of feel like that sometimes, where it's like politics is now so divided and, you know, so extreme now. It's like, it's not fun anymore. It's just kind of like disturbing. Like, it's kind of crazy how this election right here could have gone either way pretty easily. Evidently, it could have gone either way. And two totally different groups, like wildly different, could have been in power. Although I guess now no group is really like has a supermajority. So, yeah. Am I making sense?
And Margaret, what do we know about France's left alliance?
Well, it's made up of communists, socialists, Greens, and a party called France Unbowed, which is led by a man called Jean-Luc Mélenchon. He is an extremely divisive figure, considered radical, on the hard left, and you have center-left parties already trying to distance themselves from him. So this is an alliance, this left-wing
Kind of curious about that guy. I want to look him up.
alliance, which is broad. It's going to have a lot of trouble, though, agreeing on a candidate to put forward for prime minister if they're asked to do so. And of course, as we know, that's by no means a given at this stage.
CBC senior international correspondent Margaret Evans in Paris tonight.
Wow. Well, the world feels very volatile right now. It feels very not stable. Things are really getting shaken up. Hopefully it all falls into a good, into place. And it all works out really well for the world. Yeah, we got the UK election. Now this, and then we got the US presidential election coming up. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, that explained some. I feel like I still have a bunch of questions, but I guess that's for another day. Interesting election in France. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.